Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 2. I am Janice Cobham coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari congratulates Kenya Ruto on election victory. Federal government directs NICOM to deepen insurance penetration, plus prosecutors oppose releasing such evidence on Trump's warrant. We will bring you details of these headlines and other stories shortly. Many thanks for joining us on the news at 2. We begin with our news this afternoon with a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the President-elect of Kenya, William Ruto, on his victory in the East African nations general elections. In a statement signed by spokesperson Femi, is a demonstration that democratic process, values and principles remains the best way for the people to select their leaders and hold them accountable. Speaking further, President Buhari, who stated that Nigeria values Kenya as a strategic partner in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism, stressed that both countries have a long history of friendship, economic and trade ties, and effective collaboration through international organizations such as the African Union, the United Nations, and the Commonwealth. While wishing Deputy President Ruto a successful inauguration and tenure in office, the President maintained that the looks forward to more fruitful and robust engagements between the two countries on shared priorities such as enhancing peace and security, democracy, and greater economic prosperity and social development on the continent. Away from that, the federal government has agreed to franchise a satellite internet broadband as well as a museum and planetarium project. To this end, the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission (ICRC) has issued 2 full business case FBC certificates to the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. A statement from the ICRC released in Abuja said the project will be executed through the National Space Research and Development Agency (NASDA), adding that they expected to generate over 48 billion naira in revenue, create over 10,000 direct and indirect jobs, and also aid the fight against insecurity while providing internet penetration to rural areas. Speaking on the project, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Adeleke Mamora, said the projects are very critical and will enhance the development of the nation in all ramifications, stressing that the planetarium and museum projects are some of the projects deployed by the United Arab Emirates in Dubai to generate a pool of funds through tourism. Reports say a planetarium is a domed building in which images of stars, planets, and constellations are projected for public entertainment or education. In another development, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has said the federal government will soon deploy the over 70 transmission sites of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) for the country's digital broadcasting switchover. Mohammed spoke at the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) on signal transmission between the Integrated Television Services (ITS) and Startimes. The minister said the MOU would fast-track the digital rollout after many failed attempts. Meanwhile, NBC's Director General Balarabe Shehu Ilela has said the Commission would be rolling out a tentative timetable for the switch-off of analog broadcasting in the country, noting that the Commission would embark on vigorous publicity in the next 1 week. And away from that now, Nigeria's July inflation rate jumped to 19.64% from 18.60% in June, signaling a looming cost of living crisis in Africa's most populous nation. According to the Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics, The 19.64% inflation represents the country's highest inflation in 17 years. The Statistician General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer, National Bureau of Statistics, Prince Samuel Adeniran, said this is the Consumer Price Index for July 2022 released by the Bureau in Abuja. Meanwhile, economists and other stakeholders have warned that the rising inflation would worsen hunger in the country, adding that the government risks mass protests similar to the one in Sierra Leone recently. Given a breakdown of the report in a statement, Adeniran said the CPI measures the average change over time in the prices of goods and services consumed by people for day-to-day living. According to him, it was a core microeconomic indicator used in the derivation of the inflation rate for policy, planning, and monitoring of an economy. Still from the federal government, the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has been directed to deepen insurance penetration by making insurance companies develop new insurance products and policies. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, gave the directive in Abuja when the governing body of NICOM visited her. The finance minister said members should commit to develop and implement policies that would promote the reputation of the industry through prompt payment of claims, adding that there would be a need to achieve more insurance penetration in the country and to evolve new insurance products and policies. Meanwhile, NICOM chairman Dr. Abubakar Sani told the minister that they were working hard to proffer solutions to curb the ugly trend of insurance failure by way of instituting strong regulatory measures in the board of directors of all the insurance entities to make them perform better by adhering to the corporate rules that establish them. And we move now to education, where the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU, so Emmanuel Osodeke, who disclosed this, said the meeting was to discuss the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, which is one of 7 issues ASU is protesting over. Osodeke also suggested that if today's meeting goes of the federal government to implement previous agreements, both parties make allowances, university transparency, accountability solution, promotion, arrears, and others. Away from Gusau town, he directed the security personnel to shoot cycles by bandits and other criminals to perpetrate their criminal act of Gusau, the state capital, with the riding of motorcycles is banned from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in all areas and outskirts of Gusau town. These areas include Marari, Damba, Tsunami, Swani, Barakalahu, Samaru, Gadabiyu, and Janjua East. And back here, as Tang 102.7 FM officially started its commercial broadcast yesterday, people have continued to express joy towards the dialect-speaking station. Speaking with Planet News, the chairman, Uran Local Government Area Surveyor Ibom described the development as a long-awaited project. Akwa Ibom people have been hoping to have will be disseminated through Tang FM, which he said will help people assimilate the right information. Similarly, the village head of Ibiakuru and Obong Odudu Bolton Ikbe JP commended Tony Afia for his serial entrepreneurial strides in the community. He also commended tough media workers for their efforts in ensuring that proper information is disseminated. Ikbe, however, urged listeners for more patronage. And in a separate development, some residents of Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, have decried the current hardship in the country, appealing to governments at all levels to intervene and address the irregularities surrounding the hike in prices of basic commodities. Speaking with Planet News, an egg dealer, engineer Aniekan Mba, and consumer Rosemary Atta lamented price hike on some basic commodities like egg. They stressed that the increase in prices of products have further aggravated the hardship in the country. Mba appealed to the government to provide feed for day-old chicks and vaccines for farmers. Further speaking with a correspondent, a poultry farmer, Emma Ebute, gave more insight to the cause of the hike in egg price and enlisted some solutions. According to him, egg is supposed to be a common food, but due to the exchange rate and the economic situation in the country, it is now a rare commodity. Ebute stated that the situation in the West is not the same as the East because there is availability of seaports to import some materials, adding that the economic meltdown is not affecting poultry alone, but all other aspects of livestock farming. We move now to Africa, where Deputy President William Ruto have been declared winner of Kenya's hard-fought presidential elections after several members of the Election Commission rejected the results. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) Chairman Wafula Chebukati said Ruto had won almost 7.18 million votes, which is 50.49% in the August 9 votes, against 6.94 million, which is 48.85% for his rival, Raila Odinga. Reports say shortly before his announcement, 4 out of 7 IEBC commissioners said they could not recognize the results, raising rigging fears in the closely watched poll in the East African political and economic powerhouse. Meanwhile, the 55-year-old Ruto has vowed to work with all leaders in Kenya.
This represents 48.85%. Ruto William Samoei, number of valid votes, 7 million. Thank you. 7,176,141. This represents 50.49%.
And still in Africa, some Malians believe their country's military can handle the security issues in the West African state after the last French soldiers completed their withdrawal from Mali more than 9 years. Recall that France pulled out of the country in the face of the political party Adema. In a statement, said the country needs to work hard to fill the void, stressing that Malians will work hand in hand. And on the foreign scene, the U.S. Department of Justice says releasing details about the warrants used to raid Donald Trump's Florida's home last week could cause irreparable damage to its investigation, noting that it wants to keep the affidavit, a court document showing the evidence required obtaining the warrant, under wraps. Recall that FBI agents have searched Mar-a-Lago to find out if Trump improperly handled government records when he left office. Reports say 11 sets of classified files were recovered from the search 1 week ago at the estate in Palm Beach, noting that it was the first time an ex-president's home was raided in a criminal probe. In the meantime, several news organizations have applied to have the affidavit unsealed. Still on the foreign scene, a military base in the Russian-occupied Crimea has been hit by a series of explosions, reportedly leaving at least 2 people hurt. Russian officials said a fire triggered the blast at an arms dump at Zankoy area in northern Crimea, where a fire was also visible at an electricity substation, with some Russian planes destroyed in a Ukrainian attack on the Crimean coast. Ukrainian presidential office advisor Yakyalo Podolak described the incident as demilitarization in action, indicating that the explosions were not accidental. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry has said the fire broke out at a temporary ammunition storage site near the village of Mask, and that the cause was being investigated. Rail services were also disrupted due to damages made on the track. And still to come in the news, Man City signs Gomez from Anderlecht for £11 million. To stay with us. On our business news, following the energy crisis that has engulfed Nigeria, especially the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) and other states, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) has kicked off plans to import the automotive gas oil, Argo diesel, to cushion the scarcity. The IPMAN president dared import diesel into Nigeria. Recall that the premium inability of the transporters to fuel their trucks. And still in business, the Naira on Monday depreciated against the dollar at the investors and exporters window, exchanging at 430 Naira. The figure represented a decrease of 0.09% compared with the 429 Naira 62 kobo it exchanged for the dollar before the close of business on August 12th. An exchange rate of 444 Naira to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 430 Naira. Reports say a total of 134.30 million Naira was traded in foreign exchange at the official investors and exporters window on Monday. The Naira sold for as low as 417 Naira to the dollar within the day's trading. And to some health stories, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 172 cases of monkeypox across 27 states in the country. The National Health Agency revealed this in its latest monkeypox situation report for week 31. Monkeypox is caused by the monkeypox virus. It is a rare viral zoonotic disease transmitted from one person to another by close contact with persons through body fluids, respiratory droplets, and contaminated materials such as beddings. Reports say Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa where the disease is endemic. And still in health, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, AKTH in Kano, has commissioned a new hematological disease ward with a signal that it would begin bone marrow transplants. The Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Abba Sheshe, disclosed this at the official commissioning of the ward. The CMD explained that only Lagos State University Teaching Hospital had successfully performed. The hospital could successfully admit bone marrow transplant patients. We move now to sports, where reactions have trailed the decision of the President, Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick's decision not to contest for a third term in office. Pinnick, during an interview with newsmen, stated that he will not be running for a third term despite calls from associates pursuing 2014. Meanwhile, former Super Eagles assistant coach Emmanuel Amunike believes Pinnick, a FIFA Council member, has done credibly well and would be remembered for his work. The signing of Spanish left-back Sergio Gomez from Anderlecht on a 4-year deal for a reported fee of £11 million. The under-21 international becomes the Premier League champion's fourth signing of the transfer window following the arrival of Erling Haaland, Kelvin Philip and Stefan Ortega Moreno. City's director of football, Ziki Begiristan, said Gomez was an exciting young talent. Gudialo last week confirmed the impending arrival of Gomez, dismissing the suggestion he would be sent out on loan this season. On our entertainment news, BB Niger housemate Cheesy, Daniela, Kaz, Modella, Famsavi, Amaka and Groovy have been nominated for possible eviction in the ongoing Big Brother Niger Level Up edition. The housemates were nominated for eviction by Elo Swag, the new head of house for week 4. Elo Swag, who gave reasons for his nomination, said he picked Cheesy because of his attitude towards Level 1 housemates. He said he chose Daniela because he felt she was no longer comfortable on the show after her lover Khalid had been evicted. According to him, Modella and Famsavi were nominated because he wanted to examine the strength of the fan base, while he felt Cass intended to leave, probably because he is married. Biggie, the coordinator of the show, said that the nominated housemates were not allowed to campaign for votes as the voting portal opens. He announced the tale of the house as Fina, who had the worst performance during the head of house task. The winner of this year's edition will go home with a grand prize of 100 million naira, the highest ever since the inception of BB Niger. And still on entertainment, the Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria Council Convention Payment President Prati Okafo noted that the card was developed in partnership with Zenith Bank. Okafo said PMAN is proud to announce that its new and improved biometric ID card will be issued to the first batch of registered members across the country. While urging invited guests to honor the invitation, Okafo said Nigeria and beyond. Delegates from across the country are expected to attend the NEC meeting, where discussions will revolve around the biometric card registration drive. And that's all we have for you on Spectrum News at this hour. Do well to follow us on all our socials and subscribe to our YouTube page, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. And you have been watching Spectrum News at 2. My name is Janice Cobham. Do have a great afternoon.